One time he got caught with a Planet of the Apes doll stuck up his asshole.
That's easy to do, folks. I mean, it's happened to me. Twice.
You're looking at me like you're for real.
It did.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was an accident. I fell.
Hi, I'm Val.
And I am Robert. And today's movie is House of 1,000 Corpses from 2003, directed by Rob Zombie.
The movie is about two couples that tread along the backwoods in Texas searching for the urban legend Dr. Satan, but actually get caught up in this crazy psychotic family.
Yes. And there's a little sort of unrelated story that it opens with. We meet Captain Spaulding at his gas station. It's Captain Spaulding's Museum of Horror. No, Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen.
Don't forget the gas and the chicken.
Yeah, I think if you fill up your tank, you get free
Fried chicken.
Free fried chicken, which I'm all over that. And Captain Spaulding, who actually has a small part in this film, is played by Sid Haig. Now, Sid Haig, he's been acting since 1962. He's unfortunately passed away now, but he had a decent career.
I actually hung out with him in a water park in Indiana.
How did that happen?
Horror conventions. He always did the signature, the autographs.
There was a horror convention at a water park in Indiana.
The hotel had an indoor water park.
Did you travel just for that to that location?
No, I was actually working that event.
Oh, how was he? Was he a nice guy?
He was very nice, very nice.
I thought he was great. His performance was great in this film, but I never got to meet him. It's sad that he's gone, but I will say that even though he had kind of a steady career in the 60s and 70s and 80s, this movie in 2003, and then he did a sequel, it really juiced his career. Like, people were like, who is this guy? And everybody was like, he's been around since 1962. What do you mean, who is this guy? And he got a lot of roles in the 2000s because of his greatness in this. Just a real appealing, vocal, in-your-face kind of character. Loved him.
How about I shove my boot all in your ass?
Is that a line from the movie?
It is.
I thought it was an offer from you. Rob has directed now 20-something films. Some of those listed on IMDb are his own music videos. He's involved in this franchise. He's involved in the reboot franchise of Halloween. I think you should stick to music. What
Do you listen to his music?
I like some of his songs, yes.
Name 3 songs.
Name 3 songs by Rob Zombie. Tortured Man, Inagata Davida, and the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Am I right? I didn't say I owned any of his music. I said I like some of his songs.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, I can name 3 movies he's directed, but like I said, now this movie had a lot of promise, I think. Rob Zombie himself, in 2014, a decade after this film came out, he said he kind of cringes when he watches this movie. He's not happy with it. One of his earlier films. He calls it a calamitous mess. Now, I think I understand what he's talking about. It's the editing style more than anything else. So there's a lot of scenes in this film that I call the home movie scenes. It's about, to summarize, it's a crazy family that these 4 younger people that are on a road trip get, they didn't get kidnapped, but they wind up being kidnapped. Then they stop at their house and they have dinner with them and stuff, and it's just, they're a bizarre, weird family. At every scene, somebody's doing something crazy. That reminds me of Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think is a great film. But it's got its own crazy family. But that's kind of a realistic crazy family. There's like mental illness, and they worked at the slaughterhouse, and it went out of business, and they all got their problems and stuff like that. This one, it's like that family on acid. They're very character-y, like they're over the top characters. Interestingly, Rob Zombie is friends with director Tobe Hooper.
Think 1960s circus. Funhouse. Circus.
Hooper loves this film. I guess he doesn't see the parallel to his much earlier Texas Chainsaw Massacre that some might say Rob Zombie stole the feel of for this film. But these home movies spliced in things, they're grainy, they got interference patterns on them, and what other people might have done is maybe insert honest-to-goodness flashbacks. But he keeps inserting these like home movie things, and it's just weird, and it doesn't, it makes it confusing. I was confused. Were you confused at all by that?
No.
No. Well, she wasn't confused. I was.
I got the funhouse aspect of it. Like, think of walking through a funhouse with the crazy distorted mirrors and the clowns and the cotton candy, and mix that in with
it's that kind of chaos.
Yes.
And there actually is sort of a funhouse. It's the Captain Spaulding's Museum. It's a dark ride where he talks about all the killers, and both real and then the one they invented for the film, Dr. Satan. And why is that funny?
And
I just don't. Listen.
You're struggling to even just talk about like
it's a good film. I had problems with it, but Bill Moseley plays the character Otis. He's a great actor. Hated his part of the script. They made him Looney Tunes, but his dialogue is just nonsense half the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's non sequiturs.
Who said it had to?
Nobody. I'm sure they meant him to be like psychotic to the point where he doesn't even, when he spills what's in his head, it's not going to make sense. I just found it a little tiresome. And then Sherry Moon Zombie, who is now married to
Rob Zombie.
I think they were boyfriend and girlfriend then, but they might be married now. And she, surprisingly, was really good in this film. Thought she did a good
Absolutely.
job.
Absolutely.
And
Love Sherry Moon.
She's stunning.
Yes.
In this film.
Couldn't agree more.
Even though she's batshit crazy and homicidal, she's stunning.
Her jeans show her cheeks.
Yes. And 3 bosom alerts. One's at like 2 minutes. Then there's one at 25 minutes. And that's Sherry Moon's Zombie's bosom.
But just clearing up, there's 3 different scenes, not 3 boobs on one person.
Correct. And then at 52 minutes, again, it's a corpse bosom. So
again, what was necroboobia?
Necroboobia. If that's what you're into. Which I am not.
It took you a second.
I just want to go on record as saying I am not a necro-boob guy.
Necro-boobist.
You're just great with coming up with these new terms.
Thanks.
There's a whole subplot of this local bad dude named Dr. Satan. And that becomes very important for the last 25% of the movie. And frankly, I wish that they had ended the movie before that started. I did not like that whole bit.
They wanted to see Dr. Satan. Guess what happened?
Okay, so I guess they weren't disappointed in that regard, but they also wanted to rate weird roadside attractions, which Captain Spaulding's gas station is clearly one of them. There's another actor in here who you would recognize. He doesn't have a big part. You know who I'm talking about?
The guy from The Office.
Dwight Schrute from The Office is in this. Yeah, Rainn Wilson. He I don't even remember his character's name, but small part. Lines from this movie.
Well, shit the bed. Howdy, folks. Come on in.
That was a good Captain Spaulding impersonation.
Thank you. One time he got caught with a Planet of the Apes doll stuck up his asshole.
That's easy to do, folks. I mean, it's happened to me. Twice.
You're looking at me like you're for real.
It did.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was an accident. I fell. Let's give this a pumpkin rating. So look, this movie, folks, has a bit of a cult following. Right? It's one of Rob Zombie's earliest forays into horror. There are some great performances. Sherry Moon Zombie, Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding was outstanding.
How could you not love a creepy clown?
But I'm going to give it 3 pumpkins because of the format of the film. I don't think it was well cut, and it was, as he says, it was Rob himself. He says a calamitous mess. You want to give it 4?
I give it 4 because it's like a whimsical horror catastrophe.
Whimsical, sure. That's a good word for it. Let's do
I get strong circus vibes.
Let's average it out to 3.5.